You are watching Access LaPorte County Channel 97. Coming up next is the December 16th meeting for the Michigan City Common Council. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Good evening and welcome to the Michigan City Common Council. Today is December 16th, 2025. If you would all please silence all of your electronic devices and join us in saying the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of prayer.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, on roll call, please.
Mr. Beatrice?
Present.
Mr. Coulter?
Present.
Mr. Dabney?
Present.
Dr. Cora?
Present.
Ms. Lee? Present. Ms. Mollenauer?
Present.
Mr. Nelson?
Present.
Mr. Prespolinski?
Present.
And Ms. Tillman?
Present.
We have 9 present and no one absent.
Next, we have approval of minutes, regular council hybrid Zoom, December 2nd, 2025. And all the council had the opportunity to see if there are any clerical or corrections needing to be made to the minutes. If there are none, may I please entertain a motion to approve?
Motion to approve is submitted. Second.
I have a motion by Councilman Beatrice and a second by Councilman Coulter. Madam Clerk, on the vote, please.
Mr. Dabney?
Aye.
Dr. Cora?
Aye.
Ms. Lee? Aye. Ms. Mollenauer?
Aye.
Mr. Nelson?
Aye.
Mr. Prespolinski?
Aye.
Ms. Tillman?
Aye.
Mr. Beatrice?
Aye.
And Mr. Coulter?
Aye.
We have 9 in favor and no one opposed.
And the minutes for December 2nd, 2025 has been approved. Next, we have reports of standing committees. Are there any reports of standing committees?
Ready me.
Councilman Dabney.
Yes. Yeah, pass that down. Want to. I want to report on the Labor Relations Committee and where we stand at this time. Coming into this meeting, have a little statement here to read. First of all, I just want to say this is a statement. Councilman Bryant Dabney, as a member of the Michigan City Common Council and the Labor Relations Committee, I want to reaffirm our unwavering support for our police and fire departments. These dedicated professionals are the cornerstone of public safety, and we recognize the vital role they play in protecting our community. It is important to emphasize that all members of the LRC were also members of the council that supported the public safety lit passing for the $4.2 million that gave raises to both police and fire. Half of those dollars went to both police and fire. Every dollar generated from that initiative has been committed towards supporting salary increases for the police and fire personnel. To suggest otherwise is simply disingenuous. Our actions have consistently demonstrated a commitment to ensuring competitive compensation and benefits for those who serve. Michigan City offers one of the most competitive compensation packages in the region. Over the past 5 years, our public safety employees have seen average annual salary increases of nearly 9%, along with additional benefits such as longevity pay and specialty assignments, sick and vacation sellback programs, enhanced compensation for specialized roles, including dive team members and holiday coverage. These measures ensure Michigan City remains competitive in attracting and retaining top talent while honoring the dedication of those who protect and serve. Looking ahead, the council remains committed to implementing the budgeted 2% wage increase for all employees in 2026, working toward a 2-year contract for 2027 and 28, contingent on the outcomes of the legislative session currently underway in Indianapolis. Our goal is clear: to reach an agreement that is fair, sustainable, and beneficial to all parties. Through continued dialogue and partnership, we can uphold high standards of service our residents expect while maintaining a strong workforce for years to come. Now I want to talk about some of the things in the actual negotiations and how that went. Because I actually saw some folks on WSBT news on television and saying there's disrespect from this council to our, and he said it is, and I'm getting ready to prove to you it's not. So,
Excuse me, Councilman Dabney, I will please ask that you all refrain from any outbursts in the council chambers moving forward. Any outbursts, I will ask and request that you be removed or to leave the council chambers so that we can continue to run our meeting in decent and in order. Thank you. Councilman Dabney.
yes. As was stated by one of the police representatives, they talked about the timing of the negotiations, and this isn't their contract. They're supposed to be by a certain date that we're supposed to have our first negotiation. But there was an email sent from our attorney, Jewel Harris, alerting both police and fire that we could not move along at that time for contract negotiations, considering we did not know what the outcomes would be from SB1 and other things that were happening, like the taking away of the lit tax, the $4.2 million that was now off the table. So it made no sense for us to go into negotiations at that time, not knowing exactly what kind of dollars we had. So that was a delay, just as it was last year. We did the same process last year. We waited till we got the correct numbers before we went out there and negotiated. And there's been a lot of consternation in talking about the biggest hangup here has actually been insurance for retirees of police and fire, and paying actual, just like someone would have COBRA. The city is still paying insurance costs, but it's not the insurance premiums that are killing us. It's the claims of people who no longer work for the city. But we're paying insurance claims that are drowning us with everything that is happening with insurance and those costs that are continuing to rise all the time. So we wanted to go from paying 2/3 of that cost, and they pay 1/3 of that insurance cost, to just 50-50 split between police and fire and the city. So we weren't taking that away, right? So we offered a 2% raise with the intent that we would, claw back, that insurance for retirees. So we could have somebody who could retire as early as 57, 58 years old and be on these plans up until Medicare, if they want it. So these prices are continuing to skyrocket, and they are actually hurting the city. So I've stressed over and over, but the Facebook wars and all that kind of stuff has said otherwise, that we're dealing with trying to increase dollars out there when dollars coming in have been decreased. I don't know how clear I can make that, but that's what's been happening. And just to show, once again, how this council has stepped in terms of granting percentage of raises for our police and fire. 2001 to 2022, fire department on average had a 14.24% raise. 2022 to 23, 2%. 2023 to 24, 14.5%. 24-25, that's when we did not have any raises at that time, but they received the bonus. And this was due to uncertainty with some finances and things of that sort. And then what we're offering for the 25-26 is the 2% raise here. Police department, the average raises 21 to 2022, 11.33%. 2022 to 23, 6.74%. And then 2024 to 25, that was the 0% with the bonus, and then we're offering the 2% raise this time around. But there are also other things back there that aren't seen, that have not been, we haven't even discussed these because the mayor nor the council or anybody has actually asked to cut these things. But these are some of the services or some of the benefits that they get. On average, each police and fireman is probably making over $15,000 to $30,000 over their normal salary based on the benefits that they have. Somebody said I lied. And here is one, sick sellback. They sell back sick time annually, and these are some of the amounts to look for. 2021, fire, sick sellback, $192,175. Police, $151,604. 2022, $207,773. Police, $113,421. In 2023, $229,441 for fire, $140,908 for police. 2024, $239,565 for fire, $185,812 for police. Fire in 2025, $248,586. Police, $208,819. For 2026, we're showing, this must be projected out, $249,449 in police and $190,000 in $249,449 in fire, $190,000 for police. So these are the things that we're trying to deal with reasonably as a city. And it's, like I said, I feel it's a little bit disingenuous to see somebody on television saying that we don't respect our council people when council fire make up our biggest budgets for the city. But there's these other outside forces that have come into play that we did not draw them up. We aren't the ones who made these things happen. We aren't the ones who passed SB1. We aren't the ones who took away the lit tax. So we have to find ways to actually be able to bring back, some costs in order to stay under our budget. I read over and over that when the budget was actually done, including the 2% raise, there was a $22,000 difference with revenues over expenses. So that budget was done dang near airtight. So any increases over those percentages and what was offered and the things we were trying to claw back, would that definitely take us over budget. And we are not the federal government. We cannot deficit spend. We have to have blue with all of our accounts at the end of the year. We cannot have accounts and turn those in the negative as a city. That's just the way it works. State law works that way. So we've been trying to, do some, like I said, reasonable cuts from what we see in order to bring those costs back down. But as I read in the statement that I had there, I don't know where I put it, that there will be additional conversations going on. As I had a meeting before this council meeting regarding the 2% raise and moving forward and see what happens with other negotiations coming down the line. So this is where we stand. Both sides come to an impasse where we were told at the very beginning, or I was told at the very beginning, that what we wanted to do was to offer this deal as a package where things had to be accepted, things had to be given up. And I can explain to you, in my opinion, that council members probably shouldn't even be in these negotiations, because all it does is create animosity. You hear somebody from the back hollering you lie and things of that sort. In my mind, all it does is create animosity, because they think we are holding on to money that's out there and not giving it to our police and fire. And that's not the case. We're giving what we have. And I've made that comment to our police and fire negotiations before, that we will try to do the best we can with the money that we have. the money that we have. So when we came into these things with the dollars that we have, this is the best that could be done when this budget was made. So I'm trying to pull back on some of the narrative that's out there that everybody's being treated so bad. And can I have that sheet that I passed down?
No. That's
Oh, this
Because I don't see the website on this. So if everybody wants to actually see what everybody in the city makes from the top, fire department, police department guys, on down to our part-time people, you can go out onto what's called Gateway. All of these numbers are posted on Gateway. I wish I had the website so I can read it out loud, so you can take out your phones and go to it right now. And the people at home can go to it right now. I am going to get that, and by a comment at the end of the council meeting, I am going to give out that website so you can go check it out. So you can see how badly we've treated police and fire over the years. And I'm saying that because I simply disagree that we've given everything additional appropriation, every raise that we possibly can. And I know there's going to be somebody to come up here and dispute it. That's okay, because I'm only telling facts, not my opinion. These are hardcore numbers. So thank you for allowing me to extend time and give this report.
You're welcome. Are there any other reports of standing committees? Are there any other reports of standing committees? We will move on to the Finance Committee meeting. The Michigan City Finance Committee meeting did meet on today, December 16th, 2025 at 6:03 p.m. We did have a quorum. The Michigan City Riverboat Boyd claims docket for December 16th, 2025, Riverboat Fund 2235, $236,626.66. Riverboat EFT Fund 2235, $2,008,000. Rainy Day Fund 2236, $0. Boyd Development Fund 2504, $0. Those claims are for Reeve and Raleigh Construction Co. Inc. Again, for $236,626.66. And for the City of Michigan City of $1,008,008. And for Michigan City, $200,000. For the total claims totaling $2,244,626.66. May I entertain a motion to approve?
So move. Second.
We have a motion by Dabney and a second by Dr. Cora. Madam Clerk, on the vote, please.
Dr. Cora?
Aye.
Ms. Lee? Aye. Ms. Moldenar?
Aye.
Mr. Nelson?
Aye.
Mr. President,
Aye.
Ms. Tillman?
Aye.
Mr. Beatrice?
Aye.
Mr. Coulter?
Aye.
And Mr. Dabney. We have 9 in favor and no one opposed.
And those claims have been approved. The City of Michigan City 2025 Riverboat Rainy Day Fund Statement of Cash Position fiscal year to date, December 16th, 2025. Fund type 2235, ending balance $3,095,427.92. Fund type 2236, Rainy Day Fund, ending balance $1,430,137.92. The grand total ending balance is for $4,525,565.84. There were no comments from the public during our council meeting. And that is all that I have for our Finance Committee report. Next, we have reports from boards and commissions. Councilwoman Lee.
Thank you, Madam President. I would like to make a motion to suspend the rules and add the annual report from the Women's Commission to the agenda.
I would like to entertain a motion to amend to add the women's commissions under the commissions to give their annual report? All those in favor? By saying aye. Are there anyone that oppose? There are none. Now, we have Ms. Jackie Bird Jones present to speak. If you would, please come to the podium.
Well, you know what
If you could restate your name and your address and organization, please.
Sure. Good evening, everyone. My name is Jacqueline Jones, and currently I am the president of Michigan City Commission for Women. My address is 630 Tremont. Is that what you were asking? 630 Tremont Street, Michigan City, Indiana. Oh, okay. Again, good afternoon, or not afternoon, good evening, everyone. And I'm here to present the 2025 annual report for the Michigan City Commission for Women. Our mission, as it states here, it says, the purpose of this commission is to ensure the women and men have equal opportunity to function fully and ultimately as citizens of the city as equal participants. The economy and politics and government and education and social development and the system of justice and in all other facets of life by increasing awareness and understanding of the needs of women and their families and the issues, and the issues they face, identifying available resources and services to meet their needs and understand the gaps that are existing. Also, to advocate for the needs and services through monitoring federal, state, and local policy that impact women and families and make recommendations to our legislators. Currently, who's serving on the board for the Women Commissions is myself, Jacqueline Jones, as president, Linda Conley as vice president, Nyla Williams as treasurer, Keisha Ward, interim secretary, Angela Carter, Kiana Edwards, Alicia Wilson, and Daisy Lee is our liaison. Okay, the purpose of this commission is to ensure that women and men have equal opportunities again to function fully and ultimately as citizens of the city or equal participants in the economy and politics and government in education, social development, and in the system of justice and in all other facets of life again. We had in 2025, March 8, 2025, we hosted the International Women's Day. It was a great turnout. I believe it was 243 attendees. It was hosted at Michigan City Senior Citizens Building. And that theme, the theme was, accelerate in action. During that program or the celebration for International Women's Day, we had a panel discussion. We had a lot of community resources that participated, a lot of vendors having the opportunity to present their businesses as entrepreneurs here in LaPorte County. We also had speakers. We had lunch, a great lunch. So it was a nice turnout. It was a lot of participation, not just for within the community of Michigan City, but the entire LaPorte County that came out and supported this event. As you see, that was the program there. The panelists was that participated was Felicia Blakely with the founders. She's the founder of Permission to Heal and Diamonds and Pearl. Also on that panel was Dr. Button. She's the executive director for Doombrook. Jackie Dermody, is it? Dermody, I'm sorry, Jackie Dermody. She is the director of family advocates out of LaPorte. Susan Amarato, she's an educator with Dula. Kim Lee, Financial Center. She's the manager for the Financial Center for Fifth Third Bank. Erica Miller with Erica Miller Group. Coldwell Banker Real Estate and Group. Nyla Williams with the Community Health Improvement Coordinator for Franciscan Health of Michigan City. Also, Miss Albertine Allen, she's the Assistant Director for Minority Health Partners. She was one of our speakers. Erica Boyd, Director and Founder of E-Marie Project. She was an inspirational speaker for us. And Pat Boyd, she's the representative for Indiana State Representative, and also she was one of our featured speakers for this event. Again, this is just a slide here showing the program again, and again, the theme was Accelerating Action. Here's our report for 2025 Michigan City Commission for Women Annual Treasurers Report. The beginning balance of January 1st, 2025 was $13,648.63. Donations that we provided for the year of 2025 was $800. I believe $300 went to, well, that's in another slide, I'm sorry. The donations was $800. Other expenses was $2,004. Total $2,804 that was donations, and our ending balance this year for December 31st, 2025 would be $10,844.63. Disbursements in 2025 March for the International Women's Day. We provided Indiana Deli with $1,904 for box lunches. Renona Johnson as the decorator for the International Women's Day, and she received $200 in July. Labizniak received $500 for the travel and exhibit, and Jump just unleashing. I'm sorry, More Positivity is $300 went to her, and that was Jump. So for our future endeavors for 2026, we're looking forward to hosting a gala fundraiser in the spring. Again, we're going to host the International Women's Day in March and the Women's Equality Day in August. And we're hoping to have an event for the senior citizens. And that completes my report.
Are there any comments from the council? Any questions from the council? I have one. First, I would just like to say thank you for your presentation. And one of the things, to my understanding, is one, I attended the International Women. It was beautiful. It was really well put together.
Thank you.
Did you not have a recipient for that as well? Was there someone that you honored during the? I'm trying to think if there was a recipient.
Not certain.
Okay. Then the other thing is,
I do want to say this. I appreciate Daisy Daisy was the moderator for the panel discussion, and also in saying that she included the youth. The youth took part with that celebration, and it was a great number of students that came out, and also they were part of that panel. Well, they were assisting, I'm going to say, Daisy as being moderators or assistant moderators. So
And
I appreciate that.
And with the history of the Women's Commission, would this be one of the city boards, is one that has been actively throughout the city and through the community as well? And as far as when you was reading your donations, and I would just say this to any other boards and commissions that is seeking fundings, may want to reach out to you or someone from your board, because your revenue that you bring in for donations and how you obtain those things without requesting anything back from the city, but all of your fundings is pretty much just from donations. And for that, I commend you as well and your board for obtaining that.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions? If there are none, thank you so much, Ms. Jacqueline.
Thank you.
Are there any other reports from boards and commissions?
I have one.
Councilman Beatrice.
One of my responsibilities as city councilman and as a former veteran is liaison of the Veterans Commission. And they last met on December 8th at Salvation Army. Danielle Corley, we all know, she gave her annual report earlier this year. And her board are doing an outstanding job. They're very active. The 2026 focus is on training and workshops. The first one will be January 12th. It'll run from noon to 6. Lunch will be provided. It'll focus on the prevention of adverse childhood experiences. And it will be presented by Stacy Garcelon, the executive director of Anam Cara Counseling. And then future presentations will focus mainly on fighting suicide among veterans. So thumbs up to the Veterans Commission. They're doing a great job.
Okay, last call for boards and commissions. Next on our agenda, we have reports of special or select committees. Any comments, any reports of special or select committees? Any reports of special or select committees? There are none. Reports from the mayor or other city officers and departments.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah, all that good stuff. I know that right now the meeting they're checking in to see is not live right now on Facebook, so they're trying to confirm that and see what's going on. So I guess we'll continue. First of all, I would like to thank the public for their patience with the weather-related events. I just want to say a reminder about parking, that we follow those restrictions when we're trying to plow snow. I know that we're supposed to expect some warmer weather over the next week or two, so we're hoping to get the rest of the leaves. That it seems like every time we get started on the leaf pickup, another storm comes. So our goal, I know we're supposed to get up to 50 degrees by next week. So again, we want to thank you for abiding by those, but it's important that cars that are parked in those spaces that you follow those restrictions. And so, listening to everything that's happening with police and fire, I do believe that we can come to a happy medium. I know I met with the fire department on our light duty policy and what that could look like, and some interesting things came out just from a simple conversation. I know we've made some updates to our policy, our citywide policy around maternity leave, and some things that came out. And I think that we budgeted the 2% across all of the city, including police and fire. And, I encourage you just to work through that for right now. But I do believe that there should be some more longer discussions on some of the other things. And I think, this is a short session with the legislative state, in the spring. I think there's going to be some updates and some changes to Senate Enrolled Act 1. That will be in our favor, I'm hoping. So I see that we will have some opportunities. I think that even with the public safety lit, and what they've changed it to, it only included fire. I think that might be an opportunity to add police. I think there are a lot of different things that the mayors have all discussed that we're going to stomp for in this short session. I would like to encourage everybody to come to the town hall meeting with our state rep and our state senator, Rodney Pohl and Randy Novak, this Saturday at 12:30 here in the council chambers, because I am encouraged that there's a way through this, and I do believe, and I'm just going to say this as a member of the former council, and I know that the members of the negotiation team were on the previous council as well, Mr. Dabney, Mr. Kribolinski, and Ms. Tillman, and we really took the time to support the public safety lit. We passed something for that, and I know that the goal was to make sure we were competitive. I know that the police implemented a lateral transfer program, and this is the first time that we've seen these numbers of people coming back to the city because of all of the other benefits that we have. I think we have one of the better benefit packages in the region. So I'm encouraged, and I hope that we can come to some type of resolution, and that it's not a fight or a war. But I think that there are some solutions. I know that if you all pass that and leave everything as is, we had a sit-down discussion and talked about light duty and what that looks like and how that's impacted. And I feel like you all can do the same. So I would just like to encourage you to do that. A couple of dates that I would like to bring up. So December 23rd, we're doing a holiday food distribution. And some of this money is money that was left over from ARPA. We had $6,000 for food. That's going to support it. The remainder of that distribution is being sponsored by Phoenix Investors. So there's going to be 750 holiday food boxes given away at Fetters Alley on December 23rd from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. or until it's all gone. And it's going to have a whole meal, ham, etc. In those boxes. For next year, January 7th and 21st, and I announced this, we just held our 8th and final town hall meeting here. We had 8 last year around town, and I announced that we're having a roundtable committee meeting. We're going to call it just a roundtable, talking about trash and beautification on January 7th and 21st at 11 a.m. And this is really to talk about, we passed some fees and passed some different things, but I think there's still some questions, and I think bringing in residents, there were several residents who signed up to participate on that committee through the town hall. So council members, it's just an open dialogue, so you're all welcome, no decisions to be made. But it's really to discuss moving forward on what that looks like as far as special pickups, spring cleanup, etc. But we've also committed to rejoining the America in Bloom. Please look that up. We did that years ago, and I think this is an opportunity for us to engage our neighborhoods and our residents. But we want to make sure before the springtime hits that we are all a go. I know that technology has been implemented in the different departments for special pickup, and some changes have been made. So we want to make sure we start with our best foot forward. January 14th, boards and commissions workshop from 5 to 7 p.m. So I'd like to thank Ms. Jones for her report. But one of the things that has occurred, and I did this workshop several years ago while on the council, I think sometimes people just don't know what they don't know, right? We talk about Robert's Rules of Order. We talk about fundraising. The Mayor's Charitable Gala has committed over $30,000 to several boards and commissions to do projects, okay? And one of the things that we received a request from one asking for this money, understand, our city has more boards and commissions than most cities our size. All right. And a lot of those boards are not paid boards. So there are some commissions that we budget $7,000 or more in just salaries for them. Okay. So we provide salaries and compensation to a lot of our boards and commissions to the tune of over $100,000. And I'm grateful for everybody who volunteers for those. I think they do a wonderful job, but I also think they should know that it's important, if they want to do quality programs, that they do have to fundraise to do that, because otherwise I suggest that they donate their salaries back to help with some of those programs, because again, we have a lot of duplication of efforts in some places, and I think we want to continue with the boards and commissions. The other thing is notifications. We have boards and commissions that are changing their times, their dates, not providing their agendas in a timely manner, their minutes, or moving their locations. It's hard to update a website when you got 40 boards and commissions moving around. And you all are liaisons for all of them. So I'm putting you on notice to let your people know that this is not acceptable. And that's why we're going to have this meeting, because I think they need to understand how to do an agenda, what the new state requirements are that we've sent out multiple times, that they need to turn them in a timely manner, because one of the things that we stated in that the ordinance that you passed is, if you're behind, you're not going to be able to meet. Now, I did do that notification with one board. I said, you will not meet unless you turn this stuff in. I shouldn't have to do that. These are voluntary boards. So we have to figure out what's the best way to get this done. All right. I did want to update our website. Under business on the website, there is a major projects page now. On that major projects page, I know that Project Maze is listed there. Anything that we receive as far as permits, any documentation, we are listing it there so that people from the public can click on it. Our goal is to add all major projects there so that instead of just doing a FOIA, click on it, it's already there, right? You can go there now, it's available. And we will try to continue to do that. As far as planning and building inspections, I do want to give an update on Cloud Permit. I know that Dave Albers gave one at the Board of Works meeting, but since we implemented Cloud Permit on March 1st, we have received 2,834 new permits since March 1st. Right now, we have 19 new applications in review. We have 20 waiting on the applicant change requested. We have 115 waiting on the person who asked for the permit. We have another 67 we're waiting on for payment. You know, they said we're waiting on our permits. We're waiting to hear back from you, or we're waiting for you to pay, right? Rejected permits this year, 157, and 5 were withdrawn. So we've issued 2,330 permits, and we've registered 834 contractors. Right now, the average, the year-to-date turnaround time was 10 days. Right now, in recent months, it's 5 days. I remember when it was 30 plus days, just last year this time. Actually, it was bad, really bad. So we're getting better, but we've had to make adjustments to, that department, right? And I know early next year I'll be asking for some additional adjustments, and they have brought in, I think our budgeted item was maybe $600,000, $650,000. They brought in $1 million plus in revenues for permits, excluding the data center. So I do want to share with you today that we did receive payment from the data center for the permit, for the remaining permit, to the tune of $6.8 million from the data center. So again, with that comes a lot of headaches and situations around these major projects. Our team can't handle these major projects as far as inspections and reviews. We're going to have to hire outside folks to come help do that. And when you say 2,834 permits that we received this year, you know who we have one building inspector that does a great job but works every day, and that's Sue. We have one person that does that. So we're going to have to come back and talk about that with you very soon, because she can't be working, every single day and be here at night and on the weekends and all of that. And that's what she does, because she loves what she does. But we're working her to the bone, right? So I want to make sure that we take care of her. But that's why I think it's important that we deal with police and fire, because we're going to start seeing some different things that are happening that we're going to have to reshape what happens, because some of that money can help with that, right? We got to look at things a little differently as we move forward. That can help, that money from the data center can help with police and fire. There are a lot of different things we can do. So things are shaping up differently. And I hope that, we all look at that for consideration. But also, you all have had to make some hard decisions this year. So it's the end of the year. I just want to thank all of you as well, because you all have been, the targets of a lot of different things in this hard work. A lot of people wouldn't take the time, to run for an elected office. And I know it's a weight that you all carry. I mean, I carry the same weight. So I'd like to thank you, because you've had to do that. But also all of our employees, I mean, they are feeling it as well. We're in a world now that you can say or do anything on social media, right? And I tell our employees that every time I can, that I appreciate the hard work, but just continue doing what you're doing. We live in a different world where there isn't civil discourse like it used to be. It's more of fight, fight, fight versus, hey, we're all in this together. Michigan City is a great place to live in. It is. And, I don't do the social media as much, but when I'm telling you, whenever I'm talking to my peers, they're looking at Michigan City and saying, what's going on? What are you all doing? The growth and everything that's happening there. So I don't want to get it twisted that we're just this horrible community, because we're not. I was born and raised here and left here and came back. And I think it's important that we start sharing that. And I got to do a better job. I think I've spent more time in the weeds of some things that I have to do a better job communicating all the good stuff that is happening and making sure we share that. So more to come. But again, I want to thank all of you. I want to thank our special events team for the kickoff to our Festival of Lights, and that, you know, doing that and making that bigger and better next year. And again, Merry Christmas for those of different faiths. You know, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, and just happy holidays, and spend the time with your friends and family and enjoy. But if there was any questions for me, please let me know.
Are there any comments or questions from the council?
All right, thank you.
There are none, and Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to you too, Mayor. Are there any other reports from the mayor or other city officers and departments? Last call for reports from mayor or other city officers and departments. Moving on, Madam Clerk, on our first petition for this evening, please.
Petition was received in the clerk's office, formal petition and legal objection to Economic Improvement District EID declaration pursuant to Indiana Code 36-7-22, sequence and 6-1.1-11-4. This petition was carried over from December 2nd council meeting until this evening, December 16th.
So with this petition that was brought before the council, it was tabled, and reasoning being that our legal counsel, and with the concerns from the petitioner, there were some research and some findings that they wanted to look further into. So we tabled this for our council to obtain and to do any research or to obtain any additional documents and information. So I will refer this over to Attorney Snow for any comments in order to move forward.
Thank you, Madam President. There was a memo that was circulated to the council not long before tonight's meeting, and I apologize for the late circulation, but I can briefly summarize it. It is addressed from Attorney Harris to the council, essentially stating our firm has completed review and analysis of the formal petition and legal objection to the EID declaration presented. This petition was presented on November 4th at for the first time. We at this time are of the opinion that the petition is lacking in legal merit. We believe that the concerns stated in the petition generally center upon two things, one of them being documents associated with the conveyance of the solar properties to two separate LLCs in conjunction with creation of the EID, and then the other being a conflict of interest or perceived, I guess, ethical concern, which I will address separately. In terms of the documentation issues, our review of the records and the history on this reflects that there have been some errors, some things that have been incorrectly typed or incorrectly established in the deeds that were originally submitted for the transfer of these properties, and also the petition that came to the council for establishment of the EID. We've heard the term scrivener's error at several meetings. That's a legally recognized term, and typically the courts, in the memo it reads, well, as attorneys, we do try to prevent errors in any document that we create, because obviously it's the last thing I want to do, to have something I presented to the council and then have somebody tell me I made a typo. I don't like that happening. None of us do, but it does happen. And the law, the courts will give us the ability to kind of understand that these things happen. And if we can demonstrate that they're not intentional, they're not made with the intent to defraud, and essentially that if the mistake wasn't corrected, it would be contrary to the intentions of the parties, then those things can be corrected. And so I think what we have in this case are some errors that were small, that were unintentional, that made the documents not accurately reflect the intention of the parties, and therefore I think we do have the opportunity and the ability to correct those. With respect to the properties themselves, In Indiana, the deed is the primary proof of ownership. I understand that most counties maintain a database which kind of consolidates all of the records, including tax status, property identification numbers, the property ID card, the transfer histories, all of that. Those things are all updated kind of based on the deed and based on the typical cycles of the agencies that provide that information. And so while I do understand that these properties still show municipal ownership in terms of their tax status, I would tend to agree with the finding of the council to the redevelopment commission that that could just be slow data entry, or it could be a function of tax cycles kind of being paid ahead. So you're in a cycle that's paid for the next year, or last year's taxes are payable this year. And so that may be updated in conjunction with the tax cycle. However, in terms of the legal ownership of the properties, we don't believe that the designation of municipally owned on the assessor's website is of significance. And so that essentially overcomes the challenges that are raised in the petition. We have been able to review a memo and a research initiative that was undertaken by special counsel to the redevelopment commission as well. Our findings concur with theirs, which suggests to me that all of us are on the same page at this point, that the EID was done properly, that it was done with the best of intentions for the city, with the intention of protecting the city's interest. And everybody has been above board and forthcoming with us and with everybody on that subject. So accordingly, we find no merit in the petition, in any of the concerns, and notwithstanding that the petition's been filed, we would recommend that the council consider and approve the proposed ordinance ratifying and reaffirming certain findings and determinations, which is going to be put before you later on in the agenda.
Thank you, Attorney Snow. Madam Clerk, our communications for this evening, please.
A notice was received in the clerk's office from Atachi from item permit 091-493-78-00017 for 3700 East Michigan Boulevard. Correspondence was received in the clerk's office on the 3rd from Attorney Snow regarding council appointments for redevelopment commission. Correspondence was received December 1st from to Ms. Tracy Tillman from Mr. Rodney McCormick. That's it.
Madam Clerk, our first resolution by title only, please.
A resolution by title only approving and authorizing interlocal government agreement between the city and Michigan City area schools for years 2026 and 2027.
In this resolution, do the sponsors have any comments?
Madam President?
Councilman Preselinski?
Yeah, basically what this is just a renewal of the resource officer for the Michigan City school system and with the city of Michigan City and the police department for a 2-year term of 2026 and 2027. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Beatrice?
I'd just like to say that, again, this is a continuation of something that we've already been doing. It's an important, valuable collaboration between Michigan City Police Department and Michigan City area schools. And as a former administrator, I can attest that how valuable it is to have liaison officers in our schools. So I would recommend that we approve the resolution.
Thank you. I'd like to open this up for public comments on this resolution. Public comment is now open. Please keep comments to 3 minutes, please, and state your name and address.
Yes, this is Tommy Kolava from 1316 Ohio Street. Having the school resource officer at the Michigan City area schools, primarily the high schools, are very important. It's a very traditional position within our community. Probably goes back to the DARE program of the 1980s. There's been a lot of great men and women that have held that position, and that's a tradition that's going to continue. In fact, all the school resources every year, they throughout the state, they come and meet, they have their convention at Blue Chip every year. So that's something we're just going to be, it was here back then, it's going to be here now, it's going to be here forever as far as I'm concerned. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other public comments on this resolution? Any public comments on this resolution? If there are none, public comments are now closed. Comments from the council? Dr. Cora?
Yeah, Madam President, as a former school board member, I found this to be of great value, and I think we should continue this, and I'll support it.
Thank you, Dr. Cora. Are there any other, Councilman Prisbalinski?
Motion to approve.
Support.
We have a motion by Councilman Prisbalinski, and it was actually a tie between Beatrice and Dabney. Either or, Madam Clerk.
Ms. Lee,
Madam Clerk on the vote, please.
Ms. Lee, aye. Ms. Moldenar,
Aye.
Mr. Nelson,
Aye.
Mr. Preselinski,
Aye.
Ms. Tillman,
Aye.
Mr. Beatrice,
Aye.
Mr. Coulter,
Aye.
Mr. Dabney,
Aye.
and Dr. Porter.
Aye.
We have 9 in favor and no one opposed.
And this resolution has passed. Madam Clerk, on our next resolution by title only, please.
A resolution by title only supporting the issuance of waterworks revenue bonds as approved at the Board of Directors of the Department of Waterworks of the city provide for the construction and additions, extensions, and improvements to the waterworks of the city. And this is introduced by Ms. Tillman.
Thank you. I would just like to indicate in regards to this resolution with the Michigan City Water Department, as it states, if I could, I would just like to just read through this really quick. Supported the issuance of the waterworks revenue bonds as approved by the Board of Directors of the Department of the Waterworks of the city to provide for the constructions of the additions, extensions, and improvements to the waterworks of the city. Whereas the Common Council of the Michigan City, Indiana, the council and the city respectively has been advised that the Board of Directors of the Department of Waterworks of the city, the board, has determined to proceed with the necessary approvals for the issuance of waterworks revenue bonds of the city to provide for the financing of certain additions, extensions, and improvements to the said waterworks as set forth on Exhibit A attached hereto the project. And whereas the council has been further advised that the board's approval for the issuance of the said bonds be limited in par amount to not exceed $60,500,000, and that the board will obtain the approval of the Indiana Utility Regulatory Commissions, the IURC, prior to proceedings with the issuance of the bonds. And whereas the council, having considered the matters, find that there is a need for the project and the issuance of the bonds in the amount not to exceed $60,500,000 to provide the cost therefore, and hereby determines to support the issuance of the bonds as approved by the board and other matters connected therewith. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Common Council of the City of Michigan City, Indiana. 1, the council supports the issuance of waterworks revenue bonds of the city as approved by the board in the principal amount not to exceed $60,500,000, and the use of the proceeds, therefore, to finance the construction of the project and pay for all costs related to the issuance of said bonds. 2, the council supports the board in connection with the approval of said waterworks revenue bonds and project, including the actions to be undertaken by the board in seeking the approval of the IURC for the issuance of said bonds and for all other actions and approvals necessary to take in connection therewith. 3, the resolution is effective as of the date of its passage by the council and execution by the mayor. And if I understand this correctly as well, this is something that is definitely that needs to be done with the cost of things that has been increasing and for maintaining our water, the purifier and things of that nature. And this is something that has not been done in some years. And normally the review or to relook at this is every 10 years. We do have the director of Michigan City Waterworks, Chris Johnson, still in the audience. If you would like to briefly elaborate in regards to this resolution, please.
Thank you for hearing this, Council. As President Tillman said, I'm Chris Johnson. I'm the Superintendent, Department of Waterworks. And basically what we're asking for, there's a lot of legalese involved in that statement, but basically what we are asking for is that the council is in support of the efforts by the board of the Department of Waterworks to move forward with the issuance of bonds in the event that the IURC approves the bonds. This is the start of a process. We are in the beginning stages of requesting from the IURC adjustments to our rates. As President Tillman stated, costs have, of course, increased substantially over the years. Our last rate case was in 2015. Or actually, the last rate order was in 2015. So it's been 10 years since we've increased our rates. We've managed to avoid increasing rates through careful expenditure. But we do have several large projects that do need to be completed, and that's what these bonds are for. It's all part of the rate process, and the rate process essentially is making sure we have adequate funds in essentially what I'd like to call three buckets. The bonding is a loan, as the council is fully aware. And then we have our operating expenses. That's, the stuff that we do every day out of our standard checkbook. That's our electric for pumping, our chemicals, that sort of thing. And then we also have some capital work that we're going to do that's actually coming out of our cash, which is kind of like a savings account. So we have things such as many folks are aware, we do have some lead goosenecks on customer services. That would be coming out of the cash side of things. The bond side of things is money for improvements such as building or adding to our boosting stations with additional disinfectants. So we have adequate disinfectant out in the far reaches of our system. We have some storage facilities included. And then one of the additional pieces in there is we want to dedicate $3 million a year towards main replacements. We have 243 plus miles of water main, and we have a good chunk of water main that's over 100 years old. And we're going to need to start replacing it before it starts, it does fail. I mean, we have main breaks. Most folks have seen us out fixing them. We're hoping that this year isn't as bad as last year, but that's part of the process. As I stated previously, I do want to make this very clear. Not a single one of the projects involved in the bonding, nor in our cash activities, is in any way, shape, or form for the benefit of the new data center. I know that there's people that have that question. We don't have to do any infrastructure changes for that project. We already have enough water. We have enough water main in the area. We don't have to do anything extra for that project. So this is entirely about the work that we need to do, some big projects we need to handle, and then making sure that we have adequate money for the maintenance and upkeep, replacement of tools and equipment, vehicles, all those types of things that we have to do on a regular basis. But the bonding is purely about those big construction projects. I mentioned some of them when we had the presentation last meeting, and those are the projects that are for the bonding.
I'd like to go ahead now and open this up for public comments on this resolution. Are there any public comments on this resolution? Are there any public comments on this resolution?
Ernie Hollahan, 302 Gladys Street. He mentioned increasing our rates. In the paper, for the next 3 years, they're going to increase our rates every year for the next 3 years. I know it's been 10 years since they had a rate increase, but why hit us all 3 years in a row then? I mean, you have people on fixed income out there that has to pay these bills. And I don't totally agree with increasing it 3 years in a row. Thank you.
This will be the last call for public comments on this resolution. Public comments on this resolution is now closed. Comments from the council. Dr. Cora?
Mr. Johnson, if you can come up here for a moment. Is the reason why the rates are being increased gradually over 3 years, is it to soften the blow, or what is the purpose of that?
It's a combination of softening the blow. It's also, there's a lot of projects in this package that we're looking to bond, and we are required to, once we sell the bonds, we are required to use those funds in a period of time. And so we did need to break this down, because with all of the work that was going to be happening, it would be nearly impossible for us to get all that work done if we put all those bonds in at once. So we did, what we're looking to do is a portion of the bonds initially, and then in 2029, we would be selling another portion of bonds. So that's the purpose for that.
I had a couple of other questions. You said that some of the water mains are over 100 years old.
Yes.
When was the last time the water department ever floated a bond to improve the infrastructure? When was the last time that happened?
The last time we floated any bond was actually for in 2015. We got some bonding. A lot of the money used in that was actually for improvements at the water treatment plant. One of the main parts of those improvements was efficiencies by putting in what's called a variable frequency drive for pumps. And actually, because we did do those efficiency improvements, it's part of the reason why, for example, the NIPSCO increases didn't hit us quite as hard as they could have if we were using the same amount of energy that we did back then. With the current rates, we'd be paying a lot more for our electric than we currently do. We still are seeing, the same increase that everybody else does. It's up since 2015. It's up 38%, but it could have been higher if we had not done these efficiency improvements back then. And we do have efficiency improvements in this group of bonds as well.
Last question is, as a physician, obviously, water quality is very important for my work and for my patients that I take care of. Do any of the things that you're doing with this money improve the water quality?
A big part of it is making sure that the quality of the water getting to people's homes is as good as they possibly can be. Like I said, where we're talking about having to boost some of the disinfectant, that's in trying to make sure that the water is safe for our customers at the farther reaches of our system. We do have, we do extend 12 and a half miles wide, and then we're all the way down south of 94 now. And so we cover a large service area, and we want to make sure that all of our customers have the safest water that we could possibly provide.
Thank you.
Councilman Przybylski?
Yeah, I don't have any questions for Chris. Thank you. I just have comments, and I know that nobody wants to see any type of increase on anything, and we just keep going down the road and have what we have. But we all know that sooner or later you have to increase rates to improve the system, to repair the system. Otherwise, it just keeps falling apart and we'll never have any money to maintain it. It has to be maintained. It has to be improved, both for the quality of the citizens that live in Michigan City, but for any developers that want to come to Michigan City, because I'm sure one of the things they always look at is the infrastructure on the properties that you have or what they're planning on developing to make sure that they can do that. And the increases, like Mr. Holohan said, in 2027, it'll be $9.21. 2028, it'll be $3.28. And in 2029, it'll be $3.62 for a total increase over 3 years of, let's just say, $16 and some change. To me, it's just all part of doing business. It's part of doing business for the residents, and it's part of doing business for the businesses that are in Michigan City. So I don't want to say that I support rate increases, but I will say that I support this resolution so that we can improve our water system and water department in Michigan City. Thank you.
Councilwoman Moldenauer.
Thank you, Madam President. To me, it's pretty unbelievable that we're still using pipes that are 100 years plus old. So for decades, we haven't been really good stewards of our infrastructure. So I think this really places us in a catch-up position. And any of you that have been in the downtown area when the mains have broken, that involves digging up new pavement that may have just been put down. So I think anything we're able to do to prevent things like this from happening in the future are very important. Water main breaks are one of those things that can erode a street very quickly. It can cause water damage in basements of homes. And so I think anything we do to prevent these additional expenses from happening to businesses or residences in our community are really important. Also, Mr. Chris Johnson, I'm going to prevent myself from having to make a phone call or send an email tomorrow. I have been contacted by Mott's Woods subdivision, whose water pressure for some reason has gone significantly down. To the point when they're in the shower, it goes off and then it comes back in, whatever. I have assured them this has nothing to do with the data center, since that seems to be blamed for everything recently. So I'm just delivering that message to you from two of my constituents so far that have contacted me.
Okay. And I would ask that they contact us, because actually I live in Mott's Woods and I have not noticed that at all. So, so I do ask that they call us and get us their addresses. We'll investigate the situation.
Councilman Dabney.
Yes, I just wanted to reiterate what Councilman Prebelinski and Councilman Moldenauer were talking about. And these are investments that we have to make for the city to move forward. And we've run into these issues before, and when I was on previous councils. In situations like we had to do fire trucks, and we actually had to start making a plan to start to replace in certain amounts of time. So we smooth these costs out, and then also we had with leases to police cars, and now I think we're off the leases, but we're going to buy or whatever we're doing now. But we had to make these plans moving forward, so everything is not paid for in one shot. And but these are needed investments in any city that you go to. So I understand it's very difficult to say you're going to raise rates when things have been the same for so long, but these are necessary investments that have to be made in order to keep the city running smoothly. Thanks.
Councilman Beardry.
I agree with everything that's been said by my colleagues. And the one thing that I think I would add is that the reason why this is split into threes, one of the issues is because the work has to be done by a certain time, so it has to be spread out. But the big hit is the initial hit, and the reason for that is because the water department prioritized what had to be done to maintain and improve quality services to the public. So the first increase is the one that's the most important. Those are the high priority things that have to be done to maintain and the quality that we enjoy now through the water department. So again, it is an infrastructure thing. Those are improvements that have to be made periodically to maintain the services that we all take for granted, really. Thank you.
And on this resolution, may I entertain a motion?
So moved.
There's a motion by Dr. Cora. Is there a second?
Support.
And we have a second by Councilman Dabney. Madam Clerk, on the vote, please.
Ms. Moldenauer,
Aye.
Mr. Nelson, Mr. Preselinski,
Aye.
Ms. Tillman,
Aye.
Mr. Beatrice,
Aye.
Mr. Coulter,
Aye.
Mr. Dabney,
Aye.
Dr. Cora,
Aye.
and Ms. Lee. Aye. We have 9 in favor and no one opposed.
And this resolution has passed. Madam Clerk, on our next resolution by title only, please.
A resolution by title only, a resolution increasing and decreasing certain appropriations within the budget of the planning and the general fund 1101 for the 2025 Michigan City, Indiana. And this is introduced by Mr. Dabney.
And does the sponsor like to make any comments?
Yes, real quick. This is just a move of money from one account into another account to cover certain expenses coming out of salaries and wages, $20,000 moving over to other contractual services. So no new money, just moving money within their own budget.
And I'd like to open this up for public comments. Are there any public comments on this resolution? Any public comments on this resolution? Any public comments on this resolution? If there are none, public comments are now closed. Comments from the council? Any comments from the council on this resolution?
Motion to approve. Support.
We have a motion by Councilman Preselinski and a second by Councilman Beatrice. Madam Clerk, on the vote, please.
Mr. Nelson,
Aye.
Mr. Preselinski,
Aye.
Ms. Tillman,
Aye.
Mr. Beatrice,
Aye.
Mr. Coulter,
Aye.
Mr. Dabney,
Aye.
Dr. Cora,
Aye.
Ms. Lee, and Ms. Moldenauer.
Aye.
We have 9 in favor and no one opposed.
And this resolution has passed. Next, we have starting into our ordinances. We are doing our ordinance on second readings, ordinance by title only. Madam Clerk, if you would, please.
An ordinance on second reading by title only, an ordinance establishing salaries for the fire department of the city of Michigan City for the calendar year 2026. And this is introduced by Ms. Tillman.
Thank you. As it has been conveyed by the LRC chair and from the committee of that board in regards to the 2026 ordinance, salary ordinance for the fire department. I really don't have anything else to reiterate in regards to this. So I would like to open this up for public comment. Are there any public comments on this ordinance? If you'll please state your name and your address. Public comments are for 3 minutes.
Good evening, Council. My name is Christopher Zabutis. I live at 161 Concord, and I represent the firefighters of Local 475. At the last meeting, comments were made suggesting that firefighters receive additional benefits at the risk that city employees do not, and in some cases, that is true. Earlier, Councilman Dabney mentioned that some of them at the beginning of the meeting. Maybe those other employees should consider unionizing and building the strong foundation that the police and fire have. But let me be clear. Our contract is a public document. Anyone can read it. No one is hiding anything, and attempts to weaponize city employees against each other in order to score political points is unacceptable and further proof that good faith negotiations are not a priority in this city. But I'm here to talk about what the city is trying to take away from the firefighters with their offer of the 2% raise, which with this resolution we are not getting. There are 365 days in a year with a 24 on, 48 off schedule across those 3 shifts with no time off. A firefighter can work up to 2,904 hours in a year. That's 904 hours more than the standard 40-hour employee who gets 2 weeks paid vacation. Even after our comp days, which we earn instead of overtime, we work 2,592 hours a year. And after taking an average of 10 vacation days, we work 2,352 hours a year. That is 352 hours more than the 40-hour employee. That's roughly 50 additional 8-hour days every single year. It's not just additional hours worked though. It's 352 hours of missed dance recitals, missed Pop Warner football games, missed holidays, and missed time with our families. It's also an additional 352 hours of sleepless nights on shift, dangerous calls, increased heart and lung disease, and constant exposure to chemicals that are known to cause cancer. And at time, they will kill me. I will die of cancer for this job, for this city. And so will my brothers and sisters. The average firefighter dies 5 to 7 years after retirement. And earlier this year, Captain Rob Schaefer died just a short 5 years into retirement at age 56. This isn't a convenient statistic to make a point. It's the harsh reality of the fire service across the country that recently hit home. And with your current proposal, the public needs to understand this clearly. The city is trying to force firefighters to work more hours without proper compensation at all. To be clear, I'm not complaining about the hours I work, the job itself, the risks associated with it. I knew what I signed up for. It's the best job in the world. Every third day, I get to live every kid's dream of driving a fire truck. There's nothing else in the world I would rather be doing. And even when the city is trying to cut my benefits and punish me for working more than the average employee, we will continue to serve this community the best we can. But I do have to ask, so I'll ask it directly. When is enough enough? How much more of myself and ourselves do we have to give to sacrifice to make this city happy? Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other public comments on this ordinance?
Good evening. My name is Chris Bartek, 1201 East Michigan Boulevard. I'm a Michigan City police officer and a member of the FOP Wage Committee. I'll have some additional comments for the police salary ordinance, but I'm going to run over my 3 minutes, so there's some commentary to add to this. I almost can't believe I'm going to say it on record, but Councilman Dabney, you are a terrific public speaker. I actually admire you quite a bit for it. You have a unique way of blending professionalism and facts with an informal delivery style that makes it seem like we're all friends just having a casual conversation. So it's disheartening when I see you sit there and use that gift to try to sway public perception of our current situation. You'd gladly sit there and convince the public that you've pulled out all the stops, that you've tried to work to make the police and fire departments feel valued and appreciated, even though you know that that's not true. You used a word earlier in your speech, disingenuous. I could not think of a better one to describe our situation today. Sir, it is not this department's police officers and firefighters, that are being disingenuous. You want to talk about SB1 being an impact on the city, and that's why you couldn't negotiate with us. We both know that that's simply not true. We understand the financial challenges, but we have tried to communicate with you all along, and we've been shut out at every opportunity. I'm glad to hear that the mayor's statements and her optimism echo what the police and fire departments have been after all along. A legitimate opportunity to negotiate and have meaningful discussion that leads to both parties leaving the table happy. Unfortunately, the City Council and its Labor Relations Committee has made that near impossible this year. As I mentioned, I'll have some more comments in a moment under the police salary ordinance. Thank you.
Brian Gonzalez. I spend 1/3 of my life at 1012 Ohio Street at City Fire Station 1. Councilman Dabney, I have to disagree. You like to throw these numbers out, but you don't like to give the whole truth. You said something about a 14% raise in 21-22. I just want to announce to the public that we gave up a lot of bonuses. We gave up pretty much every bonus that we had on top of our salary to fund our own raise. And now but that's the majority of it.
So we did that to put it on our salary base so we could get a little more longevity. All right. 23-24, I think you announced at 9%. 9% raise, is that what your number was? So I want to announce that that was brought because you guys passed the lit tax. That lit tax was passed to bring us from poverty to competitive, because we're making on average 20 to 30,000 less than everybody around us per year. The mayor spoke about public safety lit, which is funded by, retirees account for the sick day sellbacks that you spoke of. All right, that big money is from our retirees, and now you want to slap them with you want to give them an appreciation, or you want to show the appreciation of 20, 30, 40 years, because you want to slap them with a large increase in their insurance premiums for contributions. Departments like Portage pay 85%. Elkhart offers the same insurance as their paid full-time firefighters, and that's with no casino money. Actually, if you like, I could go over all kinds of contracts in the state for the firefighters, and the majority of them do the same thing for their retirees. They take care of them.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm moving. Yes, thanks. You'll hear Dabney cry about there's only receiving $9 million in riverboat funds. That's $9 million more than everybody else is getting, or the majority of the cities are getting that are still giving their firefighters their raises. 2%, man. That's all we're asking, right? We're asking the same 2% as the rest of the departments, and a little bit of language change. The mayor said it's already been budgeted. I don't know what the holdup is. In conversations between me and you back around election time, we were talking about the lit, getting our raises. You seem to be very unsupportive of what we were getting. That is true. You know what I'm talking about. Anyways, that's all I have. Thank you for your time.
This will be last call for public comment on this resolution. Public comments are now closed. I will open this up for council comments, and I'm actually going to take lead on this for right now. And I would like to make an amendment to request a motion to do an amendment for the 2026 fire salaries. And correct me, Attorney Snow, if I'm following the proper protocol, to make an amendment on second reading. And what I would like to do in that amendment, I'm asking for a motion, and that motion is for implementing the budget of the 2% wage increase for the Michigan City Fire Department with no other changes, that their contracts would remain as their 2025. So the only difference would be for the 2026 of the 2% increase. And I would like to make a motion for that amendment. So do I start with the
Point of order. To make an amendment, doesn't have to be in writing and presented to the council. You just can't do a voice amendment.
I have
The way I understand it.
I have the amendment.
You have it, redo?
Yes, ma'am. There you go.
Madam President, I have a question.
Dr. Coral?
So that I understand this clearly, I think there's a 2% raise. The concerns they were expressing was about the health insurance premium for retirees. So that will not be implemented.
That is correct. They will convert back. Everything else will be their standard 2020.
It used to be
It will
past.
remain as their 2/3, 1/3.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much.
May I, at this point, Attorney Snow, I can entertain a motion, a vote? Or do I have to make a motion?
Well, so anybody can make a motion for anything. Whether you have support for that motion remains to be seen, as with any motion.
Okay. So we have a motion on the table, so then I'll need a second.
Okay.
Is there a second to this motion, this amendment? Councilman Beatrice?
I hesitate to second because I'm still confused by what we're doing here right now. Are you suggesting that the contract stays as is, except that the 2%?
They will receive their 2%.
Oh, okay.
They will receive their 2%.
Well, I see nothing wrong with that. I'd second. I would support that. I would second you.
I know I'm not supposed to do a point of order, but I do want to clarify. I would suggest, just my suggestion, and you can do it as a chair, make motions if you want. It just seems better if somebody else would have done it. But it's really specifically only about the salary ordinance, not about the contract. So I think what this does, if you pass this, the salary increase, it allows them to go back at least to their membership to ask for approval of keeping it the same and asking for just doing the 2%. It's just making sure that you all approve that it's in the budget.
Okay.
Right? So that you're giving them the 2% if they want to take it. You're stating in your opinions that, hey, you can have the 2% without all the other stuff attached to it. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
But they still have to go back to the membership even after that.
Thank you, Mayor.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that I wasn't speaking very quickly because I was trying to think and speak at the same time, which is painful for me. But my concern would have been that you amend this to put it kind of out of kilter with what's in the CBA, and I couldn't give you an opinion tonight whether or not that's problematic. However, as the mayor explained it, if you're speaking purely in terms of a budgetary allocation, not allegation, a budgetary allocation that would allow room in the budget in the event that there's continued negotiation here, you can fiscally handle the increase in salary. I think that that's just a matter of stating the motion a little more clearly. I think that is an amendment that's permissible. Again, whether the council desires to consider that tonight or give it time to sink in is kind of up to the council. But Mayor, thank you, because I think the issue is just how the motion was stated, and I would not have understood that, so I appreciate it.
So, Attorney Snow, should I rescind that and allow someone else to make the motion? No.
That's a decorum thing with Robert's rules. I mean, I think that you had two council people express that they would support.
Yes.
So conceivably, if we want the eyeball test to look better, Councilman Beatrice could move and Councilman Cora could second, based on what's already been stated. But I don't think that's material to the discussion. I think the question is whether there's support on the council for the amendment or not.
Madam Clerk, on the vote for the support of council on this amendment.
Okay, so Councilman Beatrice made a second, correct?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right, Mr. Preselinski.
Aye.
Ms. Tillman.
Aye.
Mr. Beatrice.
Aye.
Dr. Cora.
Aye.
No. Coulter.
Aye.
Mr. Dabney.
Aye.
Dr. Cora.
Aye.
Ms. Lee.
Aye.
Ms. Moldenauer.
Aye.
And Mr. Nelson.
Aye.
We have 9 in favor and no one opposed. The amendment is approved.
So now we would need to consider the ordinance as amended, which will still be on a second reading.
Yes.
But we need to have second and third reading.
That's up to them.
Oh.
It's on second reading right now.
Madam Clerk, on,
Well, we need a so first of all, we would need a motion to approve the ordinance as amended on second reading. And then there would need to be discussion and all the things that you do with the motion and a vote.
motion, the motion to approve the amendment on, second reading with the amendments. And I would like to open that up for public comments. Are there any public comments? Are there any public comment? Good. Are there any public comment at this
Okay.
time? You're good.
Okay, so again, so you approve the amendment, so now you're gonna take your comments on this amendment, then you're gonna move to, I just want to be clear because I gotta run upstairs, and then you're gonna move to do this on third reading as well?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Public comments are now closed. Any comments from the council? May I entertain a motion for third reading on this?
To suspend the rules.
Okay.
We need a,
Oh,
so
sorry.
first of all, there has to be an approval on second reading, which I don't think we voted on yet.
Any comments on second reading on the amendments? That's fine. Any comments?
On the amended ordinance.
So comments on the amendments on second reading. I know.
Okay, I'm sorry. Do I have the floor?
Yes, Councilman Beatrice.
I don't know. I thought we did that. We approved a 2% increase. We amended this ordinance and said that we were going to add a 2% increase without messing with any other language. So it seems to me, and we voted on to approve the 2%. So why would we have to vote again to say that we
don't have?
Correct.
That's fair. Yes, I would agree with that. I'm thinking in my head that you're moving to amend something, so you have to dispose of that motion by amending the ordinance and then separately approve the amended ordinance. But you're kind of consolidating the two, and I think that's okay, because I think it's clear what the intent of the council is here.
Yeah, I think we did that. I agree with you.
But we could entertain a motion.
Now I think we can entertain it.
Yes.
If we want to go to third reading tonight.
Is there a motion to suspend the rules to have third reading on this amendment?
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion by Councilman Beatrice and a second by Dr. Core. Madam Clerk, on the vote, please.
Ms. Tillman.
Aye.
Mr. Beatrice.
Aye.
Mr. Coulter.
Aye.
Mr. Dabney.
Aye.
Dr. Porter.
Aye.
Ms. Lee. Aye. Ms. Moldenauer.
Aye.
Mr. Nelson.
Aye.
And Mr. Prespolinski.
Aye.
We have 9 in favor and no one opposed.
Madam Clerk, if you read the ordinance on third reading, please.
An ordinance on third reading by title only, an ordinance establishing salaries for the fire department of the city of Michigan City for the calendar year 2026. And this is introduced by Ms. Tillman.
I have no comments. I will open this up for public comment on third reading. Are there any comments from the public?
Chris Budas, 161 Concord, President, Local 475. It's amazing that there's been more discussion up here about amendments than there has been in the 2 hours of negotiations, or lack thereof negotiations. Once again, I'm forced to bring another issue into a public forum. That's fine, because now the city can hear what's happening. I want to build upon what I said about the comp days briefly. In the city's most recent proposal, it was stated, and I quote, compensatory time should reflect FLSA consistent language. Let's take a small dive into what the Fair Labor Standards Act, aka FLSA, actually says. Thanks, Tommy. That's awesome. Turn your phone off. Under FSLA, firefighters do not receive overtime until they work more than 53 hours. That's right, 53 hours. 13 hours more than the standard 40-hour work week employee. With how our schedule rotates every third week, firefighters work a 72-hour week. Sunday, Wednesday, Saturday. Under FLSA rules, that would result in 19 hours of overtime every week, every third week. And I've done the math. In 2026, will work out to roughly 16 pay periods where the city would owe every firefighter 19 hours overtime. Using an average overtime rate, that's about $825 per firefighter per pay period. 825 times those 16 pay periods equals $13,200 per firefighter per year. Multiply that by the roughly 75 on-shift personnel, and the cost to the city, and you're going to hate this, is roughly $990,000 a year in overtime costs, and that's a conservative estimate. So I have to ask, I thought we're trying to save money, but with your FLSA consistent language, this is what we're doing. You want to insist on this language, you're not going to open up the contract and tweak one little part that benefits only just the city. I'm going to kick the door in, and you're going to understand we're going to rework that whole language section to the tune of almost $1 million of additional overtime every year. So maybe, just maybe, I'm spitballing here. I'm no big city chicken. But maybe it's the time the city reconsiders what you're asking of the firefighters and leave the contract language that has worked for over 30 years exactly where it is. Thank you.
I thought so.
Good evening. My name is Chris Bartek, 1201 East Michigan Boulevard. I'm a Michigan City police officer and a member of the Wage Committee of the FOP Dunes Lodge number 75. I'm here tonight to address the public and expose but a small portion of the city's deliberate mistreatment of its police officers up to this point. For those who didn't catch my comments at the last city council meeting, the city is contractually required to meet with the FOP to begin the negotiation process prior to April 15th, so long as we notify the city of our intent to negotiate prior to April 1st. Earlier this year, the FOP did just that, and the city refused to meet with us. Instead of meeting, the city was in breach of contract for 6.5 months. The city asked us to reach out, quote, in mid to late summer so that we can establish a negotiation schedule that will lead into the budget season, end quote. We did just that and reached out in mid-August. And the city's response? You delayed meeting with us for 2.5 more months and didn't meet with us until October 30th. How exactly did scheduling our very first in-person negotiation meeting for October 30th, quote, establish a negotiation schedule that will lead into the budget season, end quote? And the reason I ask is because I recall that first meeting, in which you told us that the budget had already been finalized. Disregarding the police department for 6.5 months after we did precisely what you asked doesn't exactly sound like negotiating in good faith. I would instead call it some other things: dismissive, disrespectful, deceitful. And the city's lack of good faith negotiating didn't stop there. Shortly before our first meeting in October, we learned that the city is interested in raising the contribution retired officers are required to make toward health insurance premium costs. Trying to better understand the city's financial position and the general amount of money they were trying to save, we asked the Labor Relations Committee about the number of retired police officers on the city's insurance, and the committee informed us they would get us that information. We asked for the same information again in mid-November when we met for a second time. It is now December 16th. The committee has sent us its, quote, best offer, unquote, which includes the increase to retiree health insurance premiums, and we are still waiting for that answer. The FOP Wage Committee has answered every question the city has asked of us, but the same cannot be said in return. There's much more to say, but little time to do so. Unlike Councilman Dabney, who is afforded an infinite amount of time to speak and sway public opinion, I am limited to a mere 3 minutes, so I will end with this. The city's deliberately dismissive attitude toward its police officers is unconscionable. Stop making excuses, start taking accountability, and make public safety a priority again. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other public comments on this resolution? If there are none, comments from the council? Councilman Dabney?
Yes. I just wanted.
3 minutes.
3 minutes? It's fine.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, I just wanted to point out that this is the same procedure that we did last year. We were waiting for the different funds to find out exactly how many dollars we had. They were notified that that's what we were doing. Meetings were pushed back until we had the final numbers. We saw the effects of all the different things that were happening, closing in on us from all sides, riverboat money decrease, lit coming off the table, SB1 and some of the things that were happening in regards to us not getting our property taxes in. So then we decided, we will go ahead and ask them to submit their wants and needs first. That's how we kicked off the negotiations, for them to send us their wants and needs. And we had a original proposal here that came from the police department, and I'm reading it, and a lot of that, I don't know what happened to the guy who wrote this. I don't know if he was let go and replaced, but there were additional things that were added along the way for us to negotiate. And this narrative keeps coming up about they were cut off in terms of negotiating time. But after every single meeting, we sat and asked. I sat and asked, is there anything else that you need before you go? Take this back to your union representatives, and they would say, no, that we're done. We're fine. In a meeting with the fire department, they brought representation with them in our very first meeting, and the guy got upset at us because he asked us for 4% rather than the 2%. And so we started to point out some different things as to what we were thinking, what we were trying to do. And the man adjourned our meeting, got up and left. And I have my labor relations committee sitting here that was also in that meeting as the guy jumped up and cut the meeting short. We did not cut that meeting short. So the second time we got together, we were meeting downstairs or over there in the ELC room. And once again, at the end of the meeting, we always ask, anybody have any more questions? Is there anything else to discuss? They agree, get up and leave. And then we had the lights come out. That was when the lights in City Hall went out, and the meeting that the people got up was that the police we were meeting with them to have a fire. I can't remember which group that was at that time, but they left us, and we stayed in there discussing that our meeting for about an hour, using our cell phones to hold light over the different things there. So this narrative of being cut off in so much time is I have to say is not really true, because we've never said, oh, there's your hour, hit the door. We always ask at the end of the meetings if there's more to be discussed. Unfortunately for us, there was only one person there who's not here tonight that was at the public meetings as they ended, who could vouch for the way those things ended. So, it was interesting to say how I'm eloquent with the way I talk and things of that sort. Thank you for that. But I'm not here trying to sway public perception. I am not on Facebook, doing my thing. Okay, that is my 3 minutes.
Thank you, Councilman Ned. Are there any other comments from the council? If there are none, may I entertain a motion?
So moved.
We have a motion by Dr. Kaur. May I entertain a second? Councilman Dabney?
Support.
And we have a second by Councilman Dabney. Madam Clerk, on the vote, please.
Mr. Beatrice?
Aye.
Mr. Coulter?
Aye.
Mr. Dabney?
Aye.
Dr. Cora?
Aye.
Ms. Lee?
Aye.
Ms. Moldendorf?
Aye.
Mr. Nelson?
Aye.
Mr. Prespolinski?
Aye.
And Ms. Tillman?
Aye.
We have 9 in favor and no one opposed.
In this ordinance, with amendments increasing the Michigan City Fire Department of the City of Michigan City for the calendar year 2026 with a 2% salary increase has been approved. Madam Clerk, on our, Madam Clerk, on our next ordinance, please.
An ordinance
By title only. I'm sorry.
An ordinance on second reading by title only, establishing the salaries for the Michigan City Police Department for the calendar year 2026. And this is introduced by Ms. Tillman.
I would just concur in regards to the statement that I made in regards to the fire department. So I have no additional comments, so I will open this up for public comments on this ordinance. Yes, ma'am.
Good evening, Brian Wright, President of Fraternal Order of Police, Dunes Lodge 75. Just to kind of touch on some of the things that were discussed here. We discussed the timeline and everything, and that the city said that they couldn't meet because of not knowing the financial status of the city. Completely understandable, as we know that city has finances that they have to address and everything. However, that said, there were items that we were looking to discuss in our contract that did not cost the city any money. So even though we were pushed off all of these months, there were items that we could have discussed, such as language changes, that we could have still gotten done in that time, while we were understanding that the city still needed to wait for whatever their budgets were going to allow the raises to be. It was stated that we are competitive in pay and benefits, and that we've had this 9% raise over time. That's fine, but we've funded that raise. Normally when we get raises, we get something taken away from it, away from us. It's never, hey, you guys are doing a great job, so because of that, here's a raise because of the great job you're doing. It's, hey, here's this raise, but we are going to take this away from you in order for you to fund our own raise. Chesterton Police over the last 4 years has had a 21% raise on their base salary. They did not have to ask for it. They didn't beg for it. They were given it, that raise because of the job that they do. In 2026, their base pay for a lateral first-class officer is $79,100. That is $3,434 more than the base pay of a captain on the Michigan City Police Department. One thing that this is doing is affecting the morale on our department. And it's making officers wonder why they want to be on our department, especially the ones that travel from other municipalities that they could work for closer to home and spend more time at home instead of traveling to our city that we work in. What's keeping them here as opposed to going elsewhere, especially officers that we do have that live in Porter County and Chesterton and those areas, when those departments do have openings and offer great pay raises. Withholding our 2% raise hostage is, to us, it was a joke, saying that you have to accept this whole package deal to get this 2%. The whole city got 2%, so why are we being held hostage saying you'll get all your 2%, but you have to do these other steps? Really, to us, that isn't negotiating. That's you just saying how things are going to go. You're going to do this or else. Negotiating is when we can sit down face to face and discuss items and talk about things that will work and will not work. And if we ask a question, you get the answers, such as Officer Bartak saying there were multiple meetings where we asked how many of our retired officers were getting benefits from the city. And we have yet to get that answer as far as how many of our retirees are on that. The LIT fund expires December 31st, 2027. Which is 2 years from now. We have time to work with that. I would like to think that either the city of Michigan City or the county is going to work on renewing that in order to continue providing the funds that are needed for our first responders. It's not like Michigan City is getting any smaller. Very good, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other comments on this ordinance?
It's me again, Chris Sabutis, 161 Concord, Local 475. Whatever's happening is happening. We know what's going on. But I want to briefly mention what the city's trying to do to our retirees. It's unfortunate I have to come up here, but let's go to talk about it. Well, I hope I'm wrong with this. It's been implied that the city wants to increase retiree insurance for the 72 retirees who currently receive that benefit. They have made no effort to talk to us to clarify their position on this topic. And of course, the city won't tell us the breakdown of departments those retirees come from, or how much money the city thinks it will save. Our contract guarantees retiree medical insurance to firefighters who retire after December 31st, 2005. This applies to the police as well. It explicitly states that retired firefighter or police shall contribute 1/3 of the premium and the city shall contribute 2/3. The language is mandatory. It's binding. And it is part of the retirement deal that these police and firefighters earned and are now vested into. Any attempt to retroactively change that cost split for the police and firefighters who have already retired is not just wrong, but it raises a serious constitutional issue. Indiana Constitution, Article 1, Section 24 states, no ex post facto law or law impairing the obligation of contracts shall ever be passed. Simply put, again, I'm no big city chicken, but you can't go back and change your obligation to these retirees, no matter how much money you think you'll save. These retirees relied on this promise, and when they made the decision to retire, they are no longer bargaining members. They can't negotiate, they can't strike. And shifting costs onto them after the fact is exactly the type of government overreach that this constitutional protection was written to prevent. If the city wants to negotiate a different retiree cost structure for future retirees, that's a perfectly lawful option, but it needs to be negotiated in good faith. And I know we don't understand what that means, which would mean more than 2 hours of negotiation, and certainly more than a 2% raise. But applying those changes to the people who have already retired would be an unconstitutional impairment of their vested contractual benefit and would expose the city to serious legal liability. So let's be clear. You all have been put on notice. The public knows that you need to honor the contract, and what you're trying to do may potentially be illegal. I'm sure Attorney Snow can clarify. Don't attempt to balance budgets by breaking promises to the men and women who have already served the city. Show them some respect. It's common sense. Come on, people. And show respect to those who are currently serving this community today. Thank you.
Thank you. This will be the last call for public comments. Public comments on this ordinance. Public comments are now closed. Comments from the council. Councilman Beatrice.
To maintain equity here, I'd like to make it, yeah. I'd like to propose an amendment to this ordinance, amending one item, that the police department of Michigan City is eligible for a 2% increase, the same as any other employee in Michigan City. This does not impact any other portion of the contract or any negotiation, just means a 2% increase will be given to the police as well as the fire and every other employee. And I have a copy here.
We have a motion. May I entertain a second?
Second.
Have a second by Councilman Przybylski. Madam Clerk, on the vote, please.
Mr. Coulter,
Aye.
Mr. Dabney,
Aye.
Dr. Cora,
Aye.
Ms. Lee,
Aye.
Ms. Moldenar,
Aye.
Mr. Nelson,
Aye.
Mr. Przybylski,
Aye.
Ms. Tillman,
Aye.
and Mr. Beatrice.
Aye.
We have 9 in favor and no one opposed.
Thank you. Councilman Beatrice.
Now that we've done that, I'd like to ask that we go to third reading on this ordinance.
May I entertain a second?
Second.
There's a second by Councilman Przybylski to have this on third reading. Madam Clerk, on the vote, please.
Mr. Dabney,
Aye.
Dr. Cora,
Aye.
Ms. Lee,
Aye.
Ms. Moldenar,
Aye.
Mr. Nelson,
Aye.
Mr. Przybylski,
Aye.
Ms. Tillman,
Aye.
Mr. Beatrice,
Aye.
and Mr. Coulter.
Aye.
We have 9 in favor and no one opposed.
Madam Clerk, on third reading, please, by title only.
An ordinance on third reading by title only, establishing the salaries for the Michigan City Police Department for the calendar year 2026. And this is introduced by Ms. Tillman.
And the sponsor does not have any comments at this time. I would like to open this up for public comment. Public comments are now open.
Chris Budas, 161 Concord, professional firefighters, local 475. The past 3 meetings I've been up here, I've been wearing the same shirt, so I promise I own other shirts. It's just a happy coincidence. In a recent article in the Northwest Indiana Times, Councilman Dabney was quoted, "I've never been in a position in any private sector job that I've held where anybody pays your insurance when you leave." End quote. I took a few minutes and I gave some of the information to Local 475 Trustee Gonzalez. And just in those few minutes, I found that Portage pays 85% of the retirees' insurance, and even up to 50% if they have another job and choose to not take that insurance.
Private sector.
Go
ahead, finish up.
No, I love being interrupted. Go right ahead.
You're right.
No, maybe it shouldn't take my 3 minutes, though.
Give us 3 minutes.
Councilman Day,
Point of order.
point of order.
Point of order.
That is not called for.
Awesome. This is great. Keep it up. Anyway, South Bend offers the same insurance benefit to their firefighters and the retirees. Elkhart also offers the same insurance benefit to their firefighters and the retirees. If you like, I can give you a stack of contracts, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to find more departments in the state and more cities in the state that take care of the retirees than do not. Thank you.
Good evening again, Brian Wright, FOP 75 president. As I was saying before, one thing I'll go back actually, Councilman Dabney did mention the Gateway site that shows everybody's salaries that they make. Keep in mind that that should show what we make with overtime. It does not show what our base pay is. It shows what our overtime is. So in order to reach those numbers that are on that website, we have to work for it. It's not like it's given to us. We have to work those extra hours to be able to make that money that shows on that Gateway website. And then back to what I was saying before, our city's growing, obviously. It's growing up with all these buildings, housing, everything that we want to bring to the city. But what do you need for all of this growth that the city is doing? You need police and fire. And if things continue this way, all of the skilled police and firemen that we have in the city are going to go elsewhere. And you are not going to have anybody here that wants to protect the growth of this city.
Are there any other comments from the public? Any other comments from the public? Comments from the council? Councilman Dabney?
Yes. I apologize for interrupting Mr. Zabutis there. But to hear him say, quote me to say I've never worked for a private sector job that after I've left that they paid for my insurance. And that's true. No company that I've ever left has ever paid for my COBRA insurance expenses. So I do apologize for interrupting. But I did talk about public side. I don't know what other contracts have in them, but I've never worked for a private sector position that has paid for my insurance after I left. And then when you came up the last time, you talked about no law shall be passed. Basically, that would usurp the contract. And that is true. We're not trying to pass a law. What we're doing in negotiation is to try to make adjustments in the contract. So we're not trying to pass a law that would usurp the contract. It's a contract negotiation where we're asking for things, to be adjusted in the contract to get to the goal that was set forth by us when the mayor made her original budget. And so that's how that all played out. But I'm going to talk about this, that people can go to Gateway, Indiana, and actually see the compensation of all of our employees in the city here. And as the officer said, yes, this does include overtime. This does include their longevity pay. I wonder if it includes their sellback of vacation hours and things of that sort as well. But it is total compensation. So no, it's not their base salary. You can see the base salary in the salary ordinance that we have here. But if you see the base salary and then see some of these salaries after total compensation, you will see quite a difference. As I stated at the beginning of the meeting, early in the meeting, I said most of these guys are making almost $15,000, some even $30,000 more in compensation benefits that have been awarded over time. And I can understand why this has happened over time. And I've said this the last few times I've been on the Labor Relations Committee. This is not a committee for council members to be on, because it is incentive to try to give everything you want because you're under the fear of you want to be reelected. Or you can try to do some cost cutting and look out for the city, but you're going to take it on the chin because you do that. So in a sense, whether I'm reelected or not, that's somebody else's plan. That's God's will, whatever you want to say. I'm not up here chasing votes, but I'm just saying, these are the things and what we were laid out in terms of dollars coming in, dollars going out. And this is why the budget came up the way it did. So, someone mentioned something about me talking to them in election time and said I wasn't for the lit tax. That is not true. I voted for the lit. I supported the lit.
Thank you, Councilman Dabney. Are there any other comments from the council? I only have one, and if you're wondering why I'm up here strolling through on my cell phone, I'm actually looking at my city emails. And I would just like to just share that there was some information, I have some information that has been obtained and provided to us, to the LRC, in regards to when we were questioned about the 2/3, 1/3. And one of the things that is addressed is that if the retirees do the 50-50, the city will receive an increase of $120,681.12 in 2026, and that's based on the current retiree. We have a list, and it looks like, as far as departments, one moment, approximately 63. Somewhere, give a little, take a little. But I will have to address this or later with our council attorney. I just want to make sure before I can disclose this, I don't want to break any HIPAA by disclosing who spouse or significance or whatever is receiving health benefits and coverages that this would apply to. So with that being said, I have just lost where we are currently at on our agenda in regards to our votes that's back on the council. Are we on our third reading? Okay. So may I entertain a motion to approve the amendments?
Oh, we did that already.
To approve the ordinance of the amendments. Yes. That's on third reading.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion by Councilman Beardry and a second by Dr. Cora. Madam Clerk, on the vote, please.
Dr. Cora?
Aye.
Miss Lee? Aye. Miss Moldenauer?
Aye.
Mr. Nelson?
Aye.
Mr. Prespolinski?
Aye.
Ms. Tillman?
Aye.
Mr. Beatrice?
Aye.
Mr. Coulter?
Aye.
And Mr. Dabney?
Aye.
We have 9 in favor and no one opposed.
Thank you, and this ordinance has passed. Okay, Madam Clerk, next on our agenda, we have an ordinance on third reading by title only, if you would, please.
An ordinance on third reading by title only, ratifying and reaffirming certain findings, determinations, and designations in ordinance number 4771 regarding the establishment of an economic development district and authorizing and approving other actions respect thereto. And that's introduced by Ms. Tillman. The proposed ordinance was tabled on December 2nd until this evening, December 16th.
Thank you. I would just like to reiterate that when Attorney Snow addressed this under the petition, that petition had no merits to move forward. So I am hoping that the council will consider voting in favor to approving this EID. And so I would like to open this up for public comment. Are there any public comments on this ordinance? Are there any public comments on this ordinance? Are there any public comments on this ordinance? Public comments are now closed. Any comments from the council? Councilman Beardry?
This is just my opinion, but this has gone on far too long. The presence of a groundless petition that was entered to us months ago should not have held this up as long as it has. We already had our own staff attorneys that gave us their information. We had our own professional staff that provided us with information, confirmed tonight by our attorney that there was nothing wrong with this ordinance to begin with. And we basically ignored that and sat around waiting for someone to make a motion on a groundless petition that was given months ago. Let's not do that again.
I'd like to open this up for public comment. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you have your light on, Councilman Prislinski?
Thank you. In reference to Councilman Beatrice's comment about, a frivolous investigation, I guess I would call it. In my mind, if someone from the public has a question about something that the city is doing and they file a petition, I think in my mind, because I think it should be investigated to make sure that the city is doing everything on the up and up. Now, whether the person was here and offered the petition to the city, whether she knew everything about the project, all the ins and outs of the project, and yeah, maybe she didn't, but in her mind, she had questions. So I don't know what the delay of 6 weeks of approving or getting the findings from our attorney. I know that took some time, and maybe if it wouldn't have taken that long, we could have had this approved a little bit further. But I think if anyone from the public has a question about something that the city's doing, they should have the legal right to get an answer back and let it go from there. But just to say, no, I don't want to listen to your petition, we're just going to vote it down. And, we don't even vote on petitions. Petitions come to us and we look at them and go, okay, Madam Clerk, file it, do whatever you're going to do with it. So that's just my comment. Thank you.
Are there any other comments from the council?
I have my light on.
Councilwoman Moldenauer?
Thank you, Madam President. I'm going to say what I said before when this came back to us. I don't think it should have come back to us, but I'm glad that we did take the time to look into it. To me, it did seem that our request that our lawyers look into this, that it seemed to take an awfully long time. I'm also going to say, as a matter of principle, I'm going to be voting nay on this. And the reason for this is I don't think that we, as governing bodies, should be making careless oversights, mistakes in names, or misspelling of words. This is a recommendation I'm going to give to this council, boards, commissions, and committees. Run spell check. Run spell check on your minutes. Run spell check on your resolutions. Run spell check on your ordinances. I think this is going to make Michigan City more credible and also look more professional. So that's my request of everybody that's a part of anything that has to do with Michigan City. And I hope you understand my nay vote doesn't have anything to do with this project. It has to do with carelessness. Thank you.
May I entertain a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilman Beardry and a second by Dr. Cord. Madam Clerk, on the vote, please.
Miss Lee? Aye. Miss Moldenauer?
Nay.
Mr. Nelson?
Nay.
Mr. Preselinski?
Aye.
Ms. Tillman?
Aye.
Mr. Beatrice?
Aye.
Mr. Coulter?
Aye.
Mr. Dabney?
Aye.
And Dr. Cora?
Aye.
We have 7 in favor and 2 opposed.
And this ordinance on third reading has passed. Thank you. Okay. Next, we have new business. Under our new business, we have vote 2026 Common Council meeting dates. Madam Clerk, if you would, on our unfinished business.
I think we need to take a vote on the dates.
Oh, to vote on the vote, okay. So under the new business, we have to vote for the 2026 Common Council meeting dates. I believe we were all provided that via email. And may I entertain a motion?
So moved.
We have a motion by Dr. Corr. May I entertain a second?
Support.
We have a second by Councilman Dabney. Madam Clerk, on the vote, please.
Ms. Moldenauer,
Aye.
Ms. Nelson, Mr. Nelson,
Aye.
Mr. Preselinski,
Aye.
Ms. Tillman,
Aye.
Mr. Beatrice,
Aye.
Mr. Coulter,
Aye.
Mr. Dabney,
Aye.
Dr. Cora,
Aye.
and Ms. Lee. We have 9 in favor and no one opposed.
And the 2026 council meeting dates have been approved.
I didn't vote.
Did you?
I didn't.
You didn't call?
Yeah. Well. I'm sorry.
May we correct that?
You're the last one, and I thought I heard that.
And could you call her name, please?
Can I have a however? Tommy has his hand up and he is very diligent about dates, and I feel like he might see a conflicting date in our meeting dates. Is there a chance for him to? Is there?
He is not. Point
Okay,
of order. He
that's-
is.
that's
This is
fine.
only if it is suitable for the council members.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. And if for whatever reason, if it does engage into a state or federal holiday, something of that nature, then if we have to make any changes or an amendment to that at that time, we should be able to do so. So, Madam Clerk, what was the vote on that?
9 in favor and no one opposed.
Thank you. And this has passed. Madam Clerk, on unfinished business, please.
We have the vote this evening. The council has 2 appointments to the Redevelopment Commission, incumbent Tracy Tillman and Sherry Wilson, expiring 12/31/25. Nominees are Tracy Tillman, Dave Bila, and Sherry Wilson.
Okay, so I may direct it. Excuse me. Thank you. As I was in the process of stating that we have our nominees for the redevelopment, and the 3 of the nominees that was stated was myself, Tracy Tillman, Dave Bila, and Sherry Wilson. So those nominees have been stated. So we will now take an official vote for the nominees. There was question. I'm nothing.
I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
I'm anxious. No problem.
There was questions in regards to the last council meeting in regards to, do the council have to appoint a person, and is the other one just someone from the public? There is 2 appointments from the council. Now, the stance in regards to those 2 appointees, and if one is from the council, if for whatever reason, if it's Sherry and Dave, then we will appoint a liaison. If there isn't, and if it's myself and one of the other 2, then I will then be a voting member. Keep in mind, for the redevelopment, being a liaison does not allow you to vote. It is really the mediator or the in-between or to carry out information from the regular public meetings that the redevelopment has. It does not give you the authority to sit or to enter into the executive sessions. Councilman Nelson.
Is it possible to get an explanation of why my nomination wasn't picked, or why was
substituted from these nominations.
Who was your nomination?
Nick Pollock.
Did you get a second on Nick Pollock?
Yeah, Tim Beatrice.
Yeah, Madam Clerk?
I can't answer that. I don't know why, but I'm sorry, and I'll put them on here.
So with that being said, Attorney Snow, do I have to make any?
Can I make a motion to table?
But one moment, Attorney Snow. So there's a motion to table, but I was in the midst of asking you a question before that motion came forth. Which is, there was a name not added on here, which was Mr. Nick Pollock. So do I need to make a motion to add him to this?
No, because he should have been on there, and it's the clerk's fault that it isn't on.
But that is not a error from the council.
No.
Your slate of nominees is your slate of nominees. So whatever the records reflect was the slate of nominees from the last meeting who got a nomination and a proper support is your current slate of nominees. Because his name isn't listed on the agenda doesn't remove him from the slate of nominees. So you don't need to amend your slate of nominees at this point.
Just
you
like
can include his name.
here.
Yes.
Screwing his ears.
That is, yes, that's a good example.
Okay. So with that being said, I will rename the nominees, which is Tracy Tillman, Dave Vila, Cherie Wilson, and Nick Pollock for the redevelopment. So there needs to be two votes for those two seats. And can we do this by name, going by each council member of who they choose to nominate? To vote for, and the majority.
Your ordinance states that you have to vote only on one appointment at a time.
Okay.
And the vote, if one nominee receives 5 or more votes, then that nominee gets that appointment.
Okay.
So I would suggest the most efficient way to do that is everybody kind of make their first choice for somebody to be appointed to the first seat. And I would go down and just give names. If there's one name that's mentioned 5 times, then that person gets that seat, and then we repeat the process for the second seat. I think that's probably the most efficient way to do it.
Thank you, Attorney Scott.
Yes.
So with the nominees, we will go for the first seat. Madam Clerk, if you could do a vote by name for each council person. Each council person, please indicate your one vote for the first seat.
All right. Mr. Beatrice.
Cherie Wilson.
Greg Coulter.
Cherie Wilson.
Mr. Dabney.
Cherie Wilson.
Dr. Cora.
Cherie Wilson.
Miss Lee.
Cherie Wilson.
Miss Moldenauer.
Cherie Wilson.
Mr. Nelson.
Wilson.
Mr. Prespolinski.
Dave Vila.
And Miss Tillman.
Miss Wilson.
Okay, so we have 8 for Miss Sherry and 1 for Dave Vila.
So Miss Wilson receiving
The first one.
at least 5 votes is going to be your first appointee.
Yes. Congratulations, Miss Wilson. Next, we will have the second seat,
And again, if
and that
there's
is excluding Miss Wilson. That will leave Tracy Tillman, Nick Pollock, and Dave Vila. Madam
All right.
Clerk.
Mr. Beatrice.
Tracy Tillman.
Mr. Coulter,
Tracy Tillman.
Mr. Dabney,
Tracy Tillman.
Dr. Cora,
Tracy Tillman.
Miss Lee,
Tracy Tillman.
Miss Moldenauer,
Tracy Tillman.
Mr. Nelson,
Nick.
Mr. Preselinski,
Nick Pollock.
and Miss Tillman.
Tracy Tillman.
We have 8 for Miss Tracy and 2 for Nick. Yeah.
Thank you. And thank you, council, for your votes as well. Next on our agenda, we will open this up for public comments. Please state your name and your address, and you are having your 3 minutes. Thank you.
Well, yes, this is Tommy Kolovic from 1316 Ohio Street. Congratulations to Councilwoman Tracy Tillman and Cherie Wilson. You both received your Christmas wish to continue to be in the redevelopment commish. I want to make a public service announcement. It's that time of year again. Mayor Angie is going head to head with Mayor Dermody of LaPorte in the Battle of the Mayor's Bell Ringing competition to raise money for the Salvation Army. This year, as usual, Mayor Angie will be raising money for the Salvation Army Corps Community Center and Mayor Dermody for the Salvation Army of LaPorte. Of course, our mayors and cities may be competing for annual bragging rights, but it's the citizens of LaPorte County who are the real winners in this friendly competition. And you can get in on the fun when you donate in any of the following ways. Stop by Al's Supermarket between 9 a.m. and 6 p.m. on Friday, December 19th to donate to the Red Kettle. Stop by the mayor's office here at City Hall, 100 East Michigan Boulevard between 8 a.m. and 4:30 p.m. Friday, December 19th to donate to the Red Kettle. The best way to do it is go online. They have an online donate like where you can just donate online. That'd probably be the way I'm going to get my $10. Sorry, my phone went off. Lieutenant Zaputis was speaking. I was looking to get the score on the Michigan City Mishawaka game. We blew the Cavemen away. Hopefully we draw them in the sectional. Thank you for generosity. Thank you for your generosity supporting our neighbors this holiday season. So just want to wish you all a Merry Christmas and a festive Kwanzaa and a Happy Hanukkah. And I think we're going to have a great 2026. So just keep up the good work, council members and clerks and attorneys and everybody, department heads. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ernie, how I am.
Good evening.
As long as I've been coming to these council meetings, 302 Gladys Street, I have expressed how in dire need we need industry in this town. And just by the city's funds, that shows there, they have nothing coming in. So now they're getting broke. It's sad. But you have to look at the political way of it too. You have nothing but majority of Republicans down in the House downstate. They cut that money for you to come here. They won't give you nothing. You got very few Democrats on that board down there. So their vote means nothing. It's sad that they do that to people, but it goes all the way to the White House. The president we have now, all he wants to do is downgrade people and fire people. He don't want to help. So we're between a rock and a hard spot. And if we don't get more industry here, it's going to get worse. It's not going to get any better. Because you can't expect nothing from them downstate. They're not going to give. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other public comment?
Go ahead. I'm going to sit here all day. You go ahead, sir.
Well, my legs went to sleep. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Dave Vila. I live at 3044 Ohio Street. Thank you for your consideration. I've got something of importance to convey to you people pertaining to the Michigan City Redevelopment Commission. I've been following the Michigan City Redevelopment Commission since 2014, and I find some discrepancies in their auditing process. Mr. Dabney made reference to deficit spending. For the years of 22, 23, and 24, the Michigan City Redevelopment Commission has spent, I'll give you an example. Their income was $7,839,000. And their income from Form 22 from the auditor's office was their expenses were $8,831,000. Their income from the auditor's office was $7,839,000. That was in 22. In 23, their expenses was $8,745,551, and their income was $8,164,000. In 2024, their expenses was $20,525,761, and their income on Form 22 from the auditor's office was $8,115,988. That is a deficit of $13,786,270.22. Mr. Dabney made reference to Gateway. If you doubt my information, you go to Gateway. Now, if you want to run a city, properly, shouldn't the Redevelopment Commission, who is also an entity within this city, also comply with state law? In 2014, the Gateway Management Program put on by the Indiana Department of Government Finance basically set out guidelines for the Redevelopment Commission to follow. The first 7 years, from 2014 to 2021, they did not follow the recommendations put out by Gateway. I spoke up at a Redevelopment Commission meeting in 2022, and lo and behold, the Redevelopment Commission approved a budget, approved some of the recommendations that the Indiana state law mandated. I'm just saying that somebody has to look at their financial reports. I'll be glad to stay after the meeting and show you these reports and show you I've got the figures of Form 22 from the auditor's office. I've got the figures from Gateway that shows this $13,786,270.22 deficit that the Michigan City Redevelopment Commission has failed to properly present to the Indiana Department of Finance. Don't you think, if Mr. Dabney talked about a plan?
Without due respect, your time.
Comply with state law, that's my intent. And I thank you very much.
Thank you. Are there any other public comment?
Oh, it's true.
Yeah. Ooh, this guy's spicy. But he ended it real nice. Chris Abudis, 161 Concord, Local 475 President. What I mentioned earlier about Indiana Constitution, Article 1, Section 24, I'll repeat it again. No ex post facto law or law impairing the obligation of contract shall ever be passed. Yes, it does say law, but in court case Kaiser v. Alcoa in 2001, in 2021, I'll learn how to read one day, Alcoa tried to change their promised contractual retiree benefit to a health reimbursement arrangement, or HRA for short. In 2024, it was decided by the Southern Court District of Indiana, I'm pretty sure that's our state, that Alcoa cannot change that benefit under those which those retirees retired under. Generally, whether or not a collective bargaining agreement or memorandum of understanding has created a vested right to lifelong retiree health care benefits comes down to contract language. And I'm pretty sure our contract language is strong enough to protect those retirees that retired under that contract. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ryan Gonzalez, 1012 Ohio Street, 1/3 of my life. I just want to clarify what I was saying about the lit tax. I never said that you were opposed to the lit tax. I'm sorry I didn't clarify that good enough. What I meant was you're opposed to the extent of our raises that we receive from the lit tax. and conversations that we've had. But I'm glad we can kind of get down to the 2% that was given to all city employees. This is progress here, and hopefully in the future in negotiations, we might be able to be more professional with each other, maybe stay within our guidelines, stay within the laws and our contracts. So thank you guys.
Thank you. This will be last call for public comment.
Dakota Euler, 718 Emma Street. Just wanted to take a moment to thank Don and give recognition to all of the emergency management agency volunteers here in Michigan City. In the year of 2025, they volunteered 850 hours. And don't want to go into detail, but many thanks to local businesses that helped for our holiday dinner. Every member was able to leave with an item, and much appreciation to all those dedicated volunteers that helped the city events and the city departments function in all their possibilities. Thank you.
That was our last public comment for the evening. Public comments is now closed. Do we have anyone online for public well, before I close it, anyone online? I do not see anyone. Public comments is officially closed. Any comments from the council? Councilman Przybylski?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Couple things to discuss the redistricting attempt that was made by our Governor Braun and President Trump here in the state of Indiana. I want to just thank State Senators Randy Pohl and Mike Bohajchek for voting against the redistricting, and the same with State Representative Randy Novak for voting against the measure. I think they all realized and had a common sense approach to their vote that what actually was taking place was illegal, because you're not supposed to take that vote every 10 years, not every 5 years, because you want to sway a midterm election. Number two, from a public safety standpoint, all of us live in neighborhoods, all of us have sidewalks, it snows. Yeah, I am just making an announcement and a plea that, get out, shovel your sidewalks. If you have an elderly person in the neighborhood, go shovel their sidewalk for the sake of, you have the mailman, you have other folks that don't have vehicles, but have to walk up and down sidewalks. And you have the children nowadays that have to walk 2 bus stops, could be 2-3 blocks at a time, instead of them walking out in the streets. Clear the sidewalks, let them walk in the sidewalk. The other thing, the leaf pickup, and I've gotten questions from folks about leaf pickup, and I just kind of say, figure it out. They can't be picked up now, right? Because they're all frozen to the ground. Street department won't be around until they thaw, and then they have to dry out, because otherwise they don't get sucked up inside the leaf backs. Now it's payloaders. So just be patient, okay? Just be patient. If it's springtime, hopefully it won't be, but if it is, it is. And I just want to congratulate the park department again in 2025 for a spectacular job that they did on the lights down in Washington Park and up and down Franklin Street in the downtown area. It looks beautiful, getting a lot of comments on that. And I just want to tell you, Michigan City has the best looking Santa Claus. If you go down by the gate into Washington Park, right there by the mailbox, there's I think he's 8 or 9 foot Santa Claus standing there. So it really looks nice. And I just want to wish all my fellow citizens and fellow council members Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Councilman Dabney?
Yes, real quick, before tonight's meeting, I was actually talking with the mayor and back. She was telling me about the change, that we're going to make in terms of giving it 2% without requiring the other things to come about. And also we were talking about possibly coming up with a workshop to once again go over all of the numbers, all of the city numbers, that we'll talk about the compensations and everything that we have, which would, lead into the overtimes and everything like that as well. Basically to get the information out as to how, the budget came up the way it did, offering 2% raise and so forth. And she would discuss also how we got to the point that we are. And a lot of that will be some of the same things that I said, with less dollars coming in, more dollars going out, simply. And, but I'm looking forward to that eventually coming down the pipe. She came up and mentioned that she also wanted to continue moving forward with possible discussions here, going forward with the labor relations. But in my mind, and I've said this, and a lot of council members have heard me say this in private a bunch, this is not a committee that I think a council person should be on. I think that we should actually hire a labor attorney to come in to represent us, because what this does is it incentivizes us to overspend, and everything they have in their contract was negotiated into their contract. And I'm not blaming them for that, but when you're a council person and you're dealing with labor contracts, you're under pressure to make sure you spend and possibly even overspend because election time is looming. But, we were hit now, like I said, with a monsoon of things coming from different directions. Like I said, less dollars coming in, more dollars going out, where we tried to make some cuts. And I really don't believe that labor relations should have any council members on it. It creates animosity. Because, what I'm looking at is simply the numbers. And every number that I've given, somebody said my numbers were false. These are numbers that came from the controller's office. And so I stand on those numbers that were presented that I was talking about. And I look forward to a possible workshop, getting together, because we have to move forward. We cannot move backward. Considering police and fire and in the past, even though contrary to popular belief and some of the things that may have been said, you may believe that I've been against fire and police ever since I've been a councilman, but that is not the case. I've voted for all the additional appropriations for fire trucks and cars and everything, the flock cameras and so forth. And I was the main council person that was shooting for the raises the first time, where they had the huge percentage raises, where I was trying to catch everybody up, even our city workers, to meet the salaries that were reflected around the area. And actually, the first time that happened, I was a loser in a 6-3 vote when I was the one trying to get those salaries raised at that time. And it went down 6-3. Then finally, we came around and actually made those raises to the rest of the city, and police and fire as well was with the lit. So we're going to be able to move forward. I'm sorry for the animosity that it created. I heard you tell me my time is up, and I will conclude right now.
Councilwoman Lee.
Thank you, Madam President. I want to let the public know Barker Middle School is hosting their winter clothing drive. So anybody can drop off new or gently used winter coats, hoodies, sweatshirts, sweaters, joggers, sweatpants, leggings, and brand new personal hygiene products to the front office through door A from 7 a.m. until 2 p.m. for the rest of winter.
Dr. Cora?
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to make a few comments. First of all, we had a meeting of the Public Health and Safety Committee to address the issue of homelessness, and a lot of people came and gave their input, and I'm very grateful to all of them. Many ideas were expressed, and Kelly from the mayor's office took all the notes, so I'm going to be reviewing that, and I'm going to bring back to the council. Listening to this discussion about raises and all, one of the reasons I supported the data center is because I realized that as a city, we need to raise revenue. with all the things going on in the state and cutting the money to the cities and the counties, we need to raise revenues. That's the only way we can give the raises that our employees need, and whether it's police, fire, and the rest of the employees. So I'm hoping that revenue is going to help address some of the raises-related issues moving forward. And I know Mr. Johnson is here. We talked about water today. When the data center discussions came about, water was a big issue, but fortunately we are in Lake Michigan. We have plenty of water. We can draw from Lake Michigan without affecting the groundwater. Power is an issue, and whether the data center is in our area or whether it's in any other area in the NIPSCO territory, if the rates are going to go up, they're going to go up. So at least by having it here, we're going to generate some revenue here for the city. That way we can address the needs of the city. I also want to give a shout out to Maggie Spouts of Unity Foundation. After serving the Unity Foundation and after serving our community for over 3 decades, Maggie just retired. And she did a phenomenal job. From the beginning, when she started as the founding president, by the time she left, Unity Foundation has now assets of close to $60 million. And because of that, so many scholarships are being given to students in LaPorte County. And there are many other things that Unity Foundation does. And I'm very grateful to Maggie for her years of service, and I'm very proud of her. And lastly, I want to wish all our employees and our residents in Michigan City happy holidays, and wishing all of you happy holidays. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Councilwoman Moldenauer.
Thank you. I need to set my time.
I use my phone.
I promise I'll be fast. Okay, I have very exciting news to make. When things are so contentious in DC, I'm happy to announce a new bipartisan bill that was introduced by Senators Young, Banks from Indiana, and Senators Dirksen and Duckworth from Illinois. And this is to designate the Calumet Region National Heritage Area. And this is going to be a national designation, and it's expected to raise the region's profile, draw visitors here, and help in marketing of cultural institutions that are along that corridor. We are actually a part of that. We are the bookend on the eastern side. Mount Baldy, which is part of Indiana Dunes National Lakeshore, is one anchor. The other anchor, the western one, is the Pullman National Historic Park outside of Chicago. And this has been a collaborative effort for over a decade of the Calumet Heritage Committee, the Chicago Field Museum, and Save the Dunes. So I'm very happy to let you know we're beginning to see some bipartisan action in our capital in Washington, D.C. Thank you. Oh, happy holidays, everybody.
Are there any other comments from the council? If there are none, I would just like to end by saying happy holidays. Stay warm, be safe, and may you and your families all be blessed. And as we enter into 2026, God bless you all. May I entertain a motion to adjourn?